Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to your Thursday episode of the Thursday Night Overlanders show here on the Minnesota Overlanders channel. Now, tonight we got a bit of a different episode going on. One of the main staple topics will not be brought up tonight just because there's a little bit more pressing things going on in the world today. Now, as always, we did collaborate this up enough to make sure that Sin City Tactical was able to make it. Obviously, our brother Wes from there is going to be on the show. And then G-Fly, the newest Minnesota Overlander, is going to be appearing on the show too. So let's go ahead and bring Wes into the show first. Hey, what's up, brother?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Not too shabby. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Awesome. How's the family doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Don't have any complaints. We got Jonna's glasses ordered today, so that was pretty cool. She's got 2 pairs of glasses coming because she broke her glasses about 2 weeks ago, so we need to get that done. So definitely glad to have that.
Nice. Indeed, we're doing good here, at least overall. Trying to stay up to date on what's going on with the pandemic. So, with that being said, we're just kind of taking it as it comes a day at a time and going from there.
Absolutely.
Now, we're kind of in a bit of a different scenario, obviously. I'm sure, Las Vegas and the overall state of Nevada may differ from what's going on up here, but right now, as it sits, we pretty much have the same thing going on for Christmas as we did Thanksgiving, where we can't really have a major big family get together. What's it like going on down there?
Yeah, it's actually kind of getting worse. We have a lot more spikes in the coronavirus, air quotes, because, well, I'm not going to get into that. My personal beliefs, that's a totally different story. But we got a lot of stuff going on down here where a lot of things are getting shut down, and they're kind of restarting the whole lockdown state again, which sucks. But, I'm an essential worker, so I'll be fine in that regards. I do feel bad for anybody who's not considered essential. Because they could be going back into a situation where there isn't work for them to do. And, that sucks. I'm very upset about that because I know that the eviction thing that we had going on to protect people from getting evicted during this whole time has stopped in Nevada, which is obviously not good, especially if they start doing a lockdown again. That's going to create a bunch of issues where people might end up homeless. And I don't want to see that. So especially right before Christmas time.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole thing too. We're kind of dealing with almost the same thing up here, especially even with the unemployment side of things. So it's all just a matter of time until things unfold. Now rolling into the show though here, obviously we have the other Minnesota Overlander, We're going to go ahead and bring him on into the stream.
No.
Hello. How are you guys tonight?
Yeah.
Good.
We're doing good.
I have one more question for you guys. We were talking a little bit before the show, but I was wondering, what is your recommendation for a starter pistol? Used, new, generation, what caliber? What would you guys recommend?
Well, for me, I get this question a lot when I'm at the gun store. Yeah. And I guess it comes down to, I'm going to ask you a series, Jax, if you don't mind.
Go for it, bro.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and then this will help me determine what a recommendation would be, because I like to be unbiased when it comes to people choosing guns. I don't want to push what I like onto people. So when you are saying to me first-time gun that you're trying to buy, I always recommend to buy new. I don't really recommend to buy used, just for the warranty aspect of it. You're able to get warranties done through the manufacturer. So,
Right.
okay, first question. Are you trying to buy a firearm based off of home defense, or are you trying to buy one for concealed carry, or what is your intention when it comes to owning a
Preferably
firearm?
something that could cover both. At first, home defense, but then I'm going to take my classes in concealed and carry within the next couple months. So something that could be both.
Okay. So, yes, both pistols can do that. What I'm going to recommend size wise, you have your duty sized weapons, you have carry size weapons, then you have subcompact and different things like that. So, when you type in the words top concealed carry pistols into Google, typically you're going to get 3 firearms that show up. Now, I would say that there's a total of 4. But and that would be your Sig Sauer P365, your Glock 43 and or 43X. They're basically the same thing. Your Smith & Wesson M&P Shield or the Springfield Hellcat is going to be the one that I would say is being added to the majority of the lists that are happening out there. It used to be the first 3 that I named. Now I would say the Hellcat is a good contender for that. That's going to be one of those pistols that's chambered in 9mm, which me personally, I run 9mm. I like the 9mm hollow point. All of my pistols, regardless if they're full sized or compact or whatever the case may be, I run in 9mm.
Okay.
So it depends, right? And now it comes down to kind of what Jax was about to say. It depends on how it fits in your hand. For me, let me put it this way: when I first got my very first pistol, I bought a Smith & Wesson M&P Shield 9mm, the first generation model.
Okay.
I ran it for a very long time. I liked it a lot. I had to do some things to it to get it to where I liked it. I had to change out trigger and sights and stuff like that to get it how I wanted. And I kind of felt like I shouldn't have to do that on a pistol that I'm going to carry all the time because of making it easier for me to use. I kind of felt that was a con with that firearm. So then I moved to the Glock 43X. I liked that pistol a lot.
Was that a lot better quality for you?
I wouldn't say necessarily better quality. I'd say it's pretty even when it comes to quality. I mean, Glock is known for reliability. I don't know how much recently it's known for reliability, because I know 2020 they've been flinging guns out of the manufacturing plant. So you may lose some quality off of that. But
is it like a billion people in the last year since coronavirus have bought their first firearm in this last year? Over a million?
Tons of people have come in that are first-time gun buyers and buying. So the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield is going to be heavier because there's more steel and stuff like that involved with that firearm. The Glock 43X was lighter. That's one of the reasons why I went to it. I didn't have to mess with the trigger because I liked the trigger. I liked the sights. So I was okay with that. Then I came across the SIG P365. I made a mistake and I bought the 365 SAS, which we can get into that more into detail after the show. The 365 or the 365 XL. And then same thing with the 43X. I kind of regret getting the X model because the grip is longer, so it prints more. I'm a bigger guy, so when I'm carrying, I need to have something that'll hide on my body without pinching and prodding into areas that a skinny person wouldn't have issues with, right? So I have to take that into account. So I switched to the 365. It was smaller. It felt better in my hand. I just hated the sights, so I sold the firearm. Didn't like it. So now I'm running my Glock 43X again. Those 3 pistols I could do home defense with. I could do concealed carry with. They could be a truck gun if I needed it to be. There's plenty of options that those smaller pistols can do. Now, I also have a Glock 17 Gen 4, which is a full-sized, and I also have a Sig Sauer P320 X5. Once again, really big pistol as well. That's not a concealed carry pistol. Can I use that for home defense? Hell yeah, those are going to be both good for that. But if we're talking home defense, Jax, you want to give me a full screen real quick?
Yeah, sure, brother.
Okay. My home defense is that very top AR right there that you can see out of my rack of guns behind me. That's an AR-15 pistol chambered in 9mm.
That's your go-to then?
That's my home defense gun for sure,
Okay.
without a
'Cause I
doubt.
know a lot of people, their
lasers,
go-tos for a home defense are shotguns
well,
or sidearms, not as
yeah,
much AR-15s from what I've heard, just in
right.
my
So
experiences.
AR-15s, you have the risk, or you run the risk of over penetration, which is what you do not want to have, is an over penetration situation.
And
That
we
is
totally
why
talked about this the first time I was on air, if you
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
Yes, I do. So that's why I built the AR in 9mm, is because I did not want to over penetrate, and I can run it with hollow points, which is the same thing I would use in my concealed carry if I'm out in public.
Yeah.
So because of that fact, I can reach out farther. I have sights and lights and lasers and a bunch of different things on that gun to where I can positively identify my target and know what I'm shooting. It's going to hit, and it shouldn't over penetrate. So it's a big thing. You know what I mean? It's something where you have to consider all of your options. Me personally, if I were you, especially if you're getting your first pistol, I would recommend either the Hellcat or some form of an XD style pistol, or possibly a SIG P320 carry sized. So I showed you before we went live my competition SIG. They make that same model, a 320, but in a carry sized pistol. You can conceal carry it. It's double stack. I would go with a Hellcat or some form of the SIG carry or compact, or the 365. Personally, I like Glock. I like SIG. Some people are either all Glock or all SIG, and there's not really a lot of in between. I've had pretty good experience with both. But if I'm choosing, ultimately, when I have the opportunity to, I'm going to pick up another 365, but the regular model that actually has the right sights on it, and that would be my carry gun no matter what. I prefer that gun. My Glock 43 is good, but in your situation, I would recommend like a Hellcat or the 320 carry or compact. So when you get some time, Google the 320 carry or compact, and I feel like you'll like that setup.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so for me to answer that question for you, I do agree with some of the choices Wes has put out there. Now, again, personally, and it's like many people have even told me when I was first getting into the whole options and what's going to work best for me kind of thing, and trying to get opinions on what guns work best for what situation, or what somebody would consider being a good first starter carry weapon. Now, in my overall opinion, and I even tell people this, it's not necessarily about what works for one particular person throughout the whole pro Second Amendment community. Couple things you want to remember, obviously, is you want it to fit good in your hand. You want it to be comfortable when you're holding the firearm. You don't want something too bulky, too heavy. You don't want it to be too overpowering, especially if you're a first-time buyer and you've never actually shot one before. I know in all of our situations, we obviously have, for our listeners and viewers out there that haven't actually been behind the trigger of one and are wondering the same thing, go start out right. Obviously, like we've said before, especially in the past couple of years, but we like to start people out on 22 long rifles, then move into 9mm and so on and so forth, up the caliber level until they're comfortable with holding each firearm and everything else like that. But for personal first time gun buying, I'd say check out things in 9mm. You can't go wrong with it. Now, I'm personally strongly biased to the Springfield XDM subcompact 43.8 and the XD Hellcat, which is chambered in 9, obviously, kind of like what Wes said. I know when it comes to Glock, that's personally my go-to for competition shooting, just because there's many different things you can do to it modification-wise. If you wanted to move into different not levels, but different classes of competition shooting. So it definitely has its overall variance of what you can do with it.
Glock is the Legos of pistols.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
As on a firearm, they always start with the Glock. But one more question I have for you guys is affordability. So the Springfield and the 365, everything you described to me, these guns, what's the best bang for my buck I can literally get? The best bang for my buck. It's kind of a pun, but because I know not high points. I'm watching enough videos on high point 9mm to know that those are shit. Like those are absolute trash guns. But just the best bang for my buck. I don't have a high budget, so what would you guys like?
SIG is typically going to be more expensive than Glock in most situations. I just spoke to a buddy who got us 365 based off of a recommendation I gave him for $529 from like a Bass Pro Shop out here in Vegas. 43 or a 43X you can get for probably $499. So it's probably close in that ballpark. And then the Hellcat, if I remember correctly, is like $600-700, something like that. They're all pretty similar in price. Your 320 carry, that's going to run you about $650-ish in that range, I would think. So all those pistols that I said are all going to be in the same grouping as that. I'm going to go off camera for a second because I want to show you something on the. Actually, I can do it under the table while it's not in the camera view. So give me 1 second.
All right. Now, as you're doing that, I'm going to say, kind of just to keep the flow of the show moving after this portion of it here, we're going to move into the next topic. But, I'm going to pull myself from the camera view for just a second, and I'll be right back in camera space.
So this is the trigger pack for my SIG competition pistol.
Okay.
This is the firearm, technically speaking. This is the serialized piece.
Yeah.
The reason why I like the 320 series is I could take this, buy a different size slide, and buy a different sized grip, and I can drop this into a smaller frame. I could drop this into the 320 carry that I was telling you about, and my pistol that this actually goes in is a full size, right? So I could take this and build about 6 other guns out of this one thing. So when you ask me what's your best bang for your buck, I would say the 320 series, because you can buy different frames, different slides. You can make it bigger, make it smaller, and it's all one gun. It's one background check. Everything else you can order it off the internet and have it shipped right to your front door. So this to me is the best bang for your buck. Now, because we're not going into, or this is a frame, not the gun, not the gun, YouTube, not the gun. Okay, great. So I drop the trigger pack back down into the gun, right? Like this. Yep. I push it down. Now, you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So literally, all I have to do is pop the trigger forward, pull it out. So if I could do that this easy with this frame, I can pop it into another frame and run a different slide in a different setup. And it's literally as easy as just going like this and going, I'm back together, right? And then obviously you put your takedown pin back in and all that fun stuff. So when you say best bang for your buck, I would say SIG P320 series. And my reasoning behind that as well is if you look at the military, SIG just got the contract to supply the military with standard issue guns. They are the pistol and rifle contract now for the military. Okay. So the military is not going to pick something that's trash. You know what I mean?
Of course not. Yeah.
So that's my answer. But go ahead, Jax.
All right. So and like I said, for all intents and purposes of keeping the show rolling, I do think that was a good starter subject to go off on, kind of a tangent. So I appreciate that. But now we're going to go ahead and get back on our regularly scheduled programming here and get into tactical acronyms. Now, obviously, I know we kind of touched base on what, that was last Thursday, kind of in between certain portions of the episode on and off. But with that being said, tactical acronyms, you got a phonetical alphabet like, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, and so on and so forth. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is obviously most of the listening and viewing community may not know, what all that is. You can go online, look up your phonetical alphabet. It definitely helps in situations like whether it's over, walkie-talkie or comms radio. You're having a conversation and you need to spell certain things out. So, when you're writing up a report, things aren't getting mistaken for certain things like, and this has totally nothing to do with what's going on in the show right now. But prior to the show, getting G-Fly up and running here with us, I phonetically spelled out the link to the live stream, and he was actually able to get here after thinking the B was D for Delta, which,
I couldn't get on right away. Yep.
Ways, and the letters sound a lot alike if you just say them. Like, for instance, I'm sure when I said B, you thought I said D. Now, if I were to say B as in Bravo or B as in boy, obviously you're going to understand, a bit of a phonetical meaning than me just saying the letter. So I would highly encourage people to go out there and learn their phonetical alphabet. Now, and this isn't even to throw anybody under the bus, but I'm going to go ahead and throw out one acronym, and we're not going to use the last letter as the actual word, obviously, just for the sake of the overall sponsors and everything else that come with Minnesota Overlanders and Sin City Tactical. By the way, I want to quick shout out the not necessarily promoter for Minnesota Overlanders. You'll get the discount code later, but the ambassadorship that we have with TechX Pro Gear and NCCA. And then I'll give you the promo code here in a little bit. Kind of going to rewind here before we get into tactical acronyms. I'm sure Wes has a couple of shout outs to jump into quick. We'll get on with the tactical acronyms. So, Wes, go ahead and throw the shout outs out there quick.
First off, Controlled Pair Munitions.
I'm going to get a bottle
of local gun store here in Vegas, 7350 West Cheyenne Avenue. Major cross streets are Cheyenne and T.N.O or Cheyenne and 95. We're in between there. I'm personally there on Sundays and Mondays, so you can stop down there. We can do a meet and greet. You can come check out some guns. Definitely looking forward to any of you guys coming down and doing that. And then Wendy from Sight Shooter. You can find her at sightshooter.com. She's a personal firearms instructor. She does individual one-on-one classes with people. She's an NRA instructor, a chief RSO or range safety officer. So she's got a lot of credentials behind her as well. So check her out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then, of course, cincinnatitactical.nv or cincinnatitacticalnv.com or minnesotaoverlander.xyz. Check that stuff out too.
Oh, wait, you changed it to .com? Because I still have cincinnatitactical.xyz rolling.
It's either one. It's either one. They both work. So the cincinnatitactical.xyz, if you type that in, it'll take you there. If you type in cincinnatitacalnv.com, that'll also take you to the exact same website as well.
Awesome. So, again, I will put out the promo code for the TechX Pro Gear and everything else here in just a little bit. But Control Pair Munitions has been one of the main huge ones too, outside of Wendy and Tac X Pro Gear and that have been working with us. There's also Aero Precision, obviously, as you can see in Wes's background, but that's more of a Sin City tactical side of things. And we just want to keep things going in the right direction here and still give you guys the same good quality content. But we do have to make sure that whatever comes out of our mouth throughout these podcasts and shows here are cleaned up a little bit, because we don't want to give our sponsors or ambassadorships a bad reputation or represent them in a negative kind of way that would jeopardize their business as well. So moving forward, obviously with the tactical acronyms here, like I said, we're not going to use the last letter in full term, but Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, for those of people out there that have no idea what that even...
What the French?
Yeah, G-Fly. What's your answer to that one?
I'll talk to you.
Say again? Are you asking me a question?
Tactical acronym is Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Charlie F. Tango is running around my house right now.
Yep.
I know.
Okay.
I know pretty much the whole code. I know a little bit of the cops code, and I know a little bit of security code too, because I worked at an ER, so we had to deal in code sometimes there too. So
awesome.
Yep.
Now, I hate to cut you off, brother.
Go ahead.
Wes, our wonderful brother over at Sin City Tactical, wants to share a screen with us here quick for our viewers to go ahead and show in stream the actual phonetical alphabet. So I'm going to go ahead and solo this for a minute here.
How did you say I could zoom in? It was control what?
Control plus sign.
Control plus sign. Oh shit, I'm on the wrong screen. Hold on. So, like, for example, I'm going to read off a code, and you tell me what it is.
Who, me or G-Fly?
Either one of you.
All right. Hey,
Sierra,
G-Fly,
Yeah.
paying attention?
So it's kind of how they.
Sierra, India, November, Charlie, India, Tango, Yankee.
All right. Say that one more time.
Sierra, India, November, Charlie, India, Tango, Yankee.
Okay.
Oh, come on, boys.
Sin City.
Tango, Alpha, Charlie, Tango, India, Charlie, Alpha, Lima.
Tactical.
You damn right, boys.
Tactical. All right.
All right, I got one for you now. Sierra, Echo, November, Delta, Bravo, Echo, Echo, Romeo.
Send off. Oh, wait, what'd you just say?
Sent nudes? Was it sent nudes?
Nope. One more time. Sierra,
Yeah, it's cool.
Echo,
Sure. Echo.
November,
Yeah, you said Sierra, Echo, November, Delta.
Delta.
Bravo, Echo, Echo, Romeo.
Send beer. Yeah, okay.
All right.
I heard send off. I heard OFF. Okay. Yeah. All right. We're going to take down the phonetic alphabet now.
So I got a question quick. The phonetic alphabet, the NATO phonetic alphabet, is that the same alphabet that police officers use to call in license plates?
Yes.
It is. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
At the gun store when I'm calling in background checks. So it's very important to know the phonetic alphabet, because with, like, say, for example, for Jacks, right? It'd be Juliet, Alpha, X-ray, right? And
Yep.
then his last name would be Charlie Oscar Kilo. I need to be able to say first, last name in the phonetic alphabet because it's all over the phone with the ATF, and I need to make sure that they're getting the exact information. So, like, let's see. Juliet, Uniform, Sierra, Tango, India, November. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Justin, yeah.
Right. So, I have to be able to read that off
Yeah.
of the paper.
Okay.
So, like here, for example, Golf, Romeo, Alpha, November, Delta, Sierra, Oscar, November.
Yeah.
Grandson,
Yeah.
right?
Correct.
Hotel, Alpha, Papa, Yankee, Bravo, India, Romeo, Tango, Hotel, Delta, Alpha, Yankee.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Because your birthday is on Saturday.
Thank you. That meant a lot.
Yeah, and
What's
that's
your-
the whole thing here now. I know you've only been around this is what, your third episode now, G-Fly? I believe so. Third, fourth,
Correct.
one of the two.
I believe third.
Yeah, I believe it's your third episode.
Yeah.
And I want you to continue to learn more with us here
Right.
and grow. Obviously, as me and Wes, I don't know if you were able to catch the Saturday show over on Sin City Tactical, but what we were basically explaining to the listeners and viewers over there was, we're going to shoot it straight with you. Whether or not people are going to agree with what we say or not is totally up to them. We're not going to sugarcoat things. We're going to, be honest about it because that's our First Amendment right to freedom of speech. But now on the same side of that, having to kind of clean things up a little bit and watch what we say as far as the swear words go. Minnesota Overlanders channel, you may get away with swearing a little more just because, it's not necessarily as sponsored as the Sin City Tactical channel. However, in the coming episodes here, I would also like to throw the shared page out there on Control Pair Munitions because even though they're not necessarily a direct supporter of Minnesota Overlanders, they are a supporter of the overall brand, Sin City Tactical. So I definitely love to get in on that too. Yes, Wes.
You are being live streamed on the Controlled Pair Munitions Facebook right now, as we speak, by the way.
Nice.
So you're up on there. You're up on my YouTube, on my Facebook personal, on my Facebook for Sin City Tactical. I am running my live stream software and sharing the screen of your show on my live stream software right now. So you're live across every platform that I have. So we do got to kind of watch language and stuff like that. Because my sponsors are being directly pushed.
Promoted. Yeah. And so even though, that kind of goes back into what I said, even though we're not necessarily on our end anyway, backed 110% on this end too by Control Pair Munitions, it's still the overall brand. And so to be on the same level of playing field and the same page as a team here, we kind of got to clean up some things as far as what comes out of our mouth. But moving forward, I do feel like this is going to be something that, is going to reach more platforms here in the coming weeks. I'm going to be changing my live streaming platform down the road here, so stay tuned for that, listeners and viewers. And it's kind of a learning curve, like we've said previously, but with that being said, we're going to continue to move forward. Next topic of interest here is the promo code that I told you about earlier in the show for TACX Pro Gear and the NCCA. We've talked a lot about sponsors and ambassadorships so far tonight, so I figure I might as well throw this promo code at you. If you go ahead and put in Overlander 25 on NCCA, That will get you 15% off your purchase there on their gear. And then if you put in the same code over at TechX Pro Gear, it'll get you 25% off of the goodies over there. We've talked about the gun magnet holders for, mounting in your car, mounting under your desk, so this way it's still next to you, but not on your person. And there's that. There's many other inside the waistband, outside the waistband holsters, things of that nature over there. What's that you're holding there? Let me go ahead and solo that for just a second. Oh, it looks like a multi-tool, from what I can see. Yep, definitely a multi-tool. Different screw heads.
It's called a Gun Master, bro. You can get it from Walmart for like $18. It has every hex head, star bit, torque bit, Phillips head, flat heads. It's literally called a Gun Master. This thing rides in my range box at all times. Basically, with this and oh snap, where did it go? Well, whatever. My armorer's wrench.
You had that on Saturday's podcast. If you can't find it now, totally cool, bro. Listeners and viewers, if you're wondering what that is, check out last Saturday, which would have been 12-4 or 12-5's episode.
Something like that. The 5th, I believe. But
yeah, I believe
whatever. Check out the last live stream.
Check out December 5th's episode over on Sin City Tactical's YouTube. Or matter of fact, you can even check it out on both Sin City Tactical and the Minnesota Overlanders Anchor for audio. But if you're looking for the exact video to see exactly what that tool is, check it out at Sin City Tactical's YouTube or the Sin City Tactical Facebook page. And you'll be able to actually see what the tool is in and of itself. And there's different, niches and cuts in it that gives you multiple different ways to use the tool. Now, again, promo code Overlander25 get you 15% off at NCCA and 25% off at TechX Pro Gear. Go and check that out. Now, I'm going to go ahead here, and while Wes is looking for whatever he's looking for, I'm going to go ahead and pull up our side-by-side. Wes, stay unmuted.
You got a Q&A tonight, or
what's up?
Q&A tonight or anything, or
down the road here. But so the matter of fact, even in this episode, you can see it, I guess. He did find the wrench.
Armorer's wrench. Wrench. I could build a whole gun with these two tools.
Which is awesome. And, that kind of ties back into when on Saturdays, I know this is more of a Saturday topic than today's topic, but last Saturday was when he brought it out during the tactical gear review. I went over the Ozark Trail knife that I am now using and carrying as an EDC knife. Comes in handy for many different things, not even as just a self-defense carry blade, but to open boxes, to open, letters, things like that. It's definitely high quality for what you pay for the entire kit. And, like I said, on Saturday, you got to have 550 cord. Well, I found something better than that, and this is kind of just a caveat to the 550 cord. It's the stronger, older brother, the 1100 paracord. Picked up another 50-foot roll of paracord, because you can never have too much rope. It's rope. But, moving forward with that, though, like I said, it's always good to have certain things in your tactical gear. We did some CLS training, so go check that out as well from last Saturday's episode. And do the run through of what's in a usual everyday IFAC. Now, moving forward here with our agenda, just because I know our time constraints are getting a little heavy for the overall time of the show, I want to jump into USA News. Now, this is something, and, I know we kind of were touching base on this in the beginning of the show with everything going on with COVID. it's making certain things harder for other people out there with the benefits of, the payment on rent forgiveness and everything else like that to ensure that people are able to still have their place of living so they're not out on the street and things of that nature. Now, this is something I read on my phone actually while I was doing my usual 7 to 3:30 day job from Fox 9. And what it came down to for Minnesota was the Senate here in Minnesota is still trying to figure out the overall game plan, whether they're going to do a stimulus check or extend the unemployment. Now, basically, what I read came down to this: if they did the $600 stimulus check per single individual, now if you're a couple that's married, you get $1,200. Obviously, you're going to get a little more being a married family, if you will. And with that being in place, if they did another round of stimulus checks, that completely diminishes the unemployment thing. For the extension of the unemployment benefits. Now, when it comes down to the rent payment, the student loan paybacks, everything else like that you still have till, I believe, December 26th here in Minnesota. I'm not sure if it's the same date all across the board in the U.S., but what it comes down to is if that's the case and everything goes haywire, if they give out the $600 and all the rest of the benefits are cut off, people are going to have to figure out how they're paying their bills. Now, my best advice is do what I did. And I'm not necessarily saying it's the best option, but if you can't find anything right off the bat, go through a temp service. They'll place you. You have the option of being hired on after 90 days or 400 hours or whatever the case may be. But then in the same side of that, I would say, for those of you that are out there in the restaurant business, definitely apply for trade school. You're going to benefit from doing things that are in that nature because there's always going to be a need for it. Even if the government shuts down, people are always going to need work done, whether it's on their HVAC system, whether it's drywall, sheetrock and tape and paint and mudding, garage doors, things of that nature. People are always going to need those things done, which is why, for instance, like with my 7 to 3:30 and my mechanics that I know out there, that's always going to be something out there. Same thing with HVAC. Same thing with the pro Second Amendment overall, whether it's, gun stores or gun ranges. There's always going to be a need for it because people, especially in the main trades, are going to need that done so that, things are fixed around their house. But now when it comes to, our Second Amendment right and the gun ranges, you obviously want to have the gun ranges open for practice in a safe environment and be able to test out firearms. Now, I'm going to ask Wes, being as one of his day jobs is the controlled pair munitions gun shop down there in Las Vegas, Nevada. How many people a day do you usually see when you're working at the gun shop?
It depends. It depends on the day itself. So like on a Monday, we might see 40, 50 people. On a Sunday, we might see 400. It just, it depends. A lot of people come in groups, but then we get a lot of people who come in separately, which is, it's cool. We have waves, I would say. It'll be a big burst of people at a certain time, and then it'll cool off and there won't be anybody for like 30, 45 minutes. And then we'll get a big wave again for another hour and a half, 2 hours, and then maybe 20 minutes will go by, and then a bunch of people will come back in. So there's a big wave of stuff where people are coming and going, even to this day. You know what I mean? So typically during the week, and it's kind of shocking, to be honest with you, weekends don't tend to get as much people, it feels like. I feel like during the week, I see more people coming in after work than on the weekend, especially Sunday. You got people watching football and doing whatever where they're not trying to come out shooting or come out to look for guns and stuff like that. So I would say typically Monday in the afternoons tend to be a little bit busier than like a Sunday, like pretty much the whole day Sunday.
Awesome. And that's, that's some good insight to that, because with what's going on, and, like we talked about earlier, things obviously are going to vary from state to state, but with what's kind of on our doorstep overall, and this is kind of where I'm going to ask both of you guys, but I'm going to start with Justin and then move to you, Wes.
Okay.
How do you think it's going to affect the overall layout, not even just the economy side of things, but as like an overall whole? Do you think it's really, going to touch your everyday life? I know you told us in the previous episodes you work security, G-Fly. So,
Yes.
yeah, do you think it's going to interfere with day-to-day life?
If they try to take away our guns?
No. What I'm talking about is, obviously we're having that wave of COVID. So
Right.
things are going to be closing back down again, even more so than just
Yeah, we'll be closed for a while until everyone's vaccinated. Yeah.
What about you, Wes?
So, like you stated, I mean, this is your show, so I can talk a little bit more freely about day jobs and stuff like that, because I know you've said that you like that aspect of it. So, day-to-day jobs, when I'm feeling good, I'm doing ACs and stuff during the week. So I'm an essential worker when it comes to that. But it definitely directly affects performance in that industry too. Give me 1 second. So when people aren't working and aren't making money, they're not trying to spend money. So going to somebody's house to do a maintenance on a heater or an air conditioner or something like that, if it's not broke, they're not trying to spend money. So that directly affects that industry in a whole. I don't think it would affect it negatively in the aspect of an emergency situation, like a broken AC during the summer or a broken furnace during the winter. That'll still produce money, right? And then when I look at it from the gun store standpoint, I don't really think that that's going to affect the gun store either, because they were open as essential employees during COVID anyways. So I don't think it's going to directly affect any of that either. What concerns me, though, is the volume of purchasing in both of those day jobs. If people don't have money, they're not trying to spend it. Now, I do feel that people are going to be more willing to buy a gun versus buying a capacitor, which anybody who doesn't know what a capacitor is, it's like a car battery. It stores energy, helps supply power to your motors and all that stuff. But that's a regular maintenance item for a heater and or AC unit. That's why I chose that. Me personally, I'm buying a gun before I buy a capacitor, and I fix air conditioners. You know what I mean? Like, I buy it.
Well, to be fair, brother, if I may just interject for a minute, to be fair, that's obviously what I'm going to be going to school for. You've been doing that for, God only knows how long now. I think we've talked about that before, but you have the resources to even get those parts if need be at, that job.
Dealer prices.
At a dealer price. Yeah. And so for most of you, our listeners and viewers out there, obviously, you're not going to be able to do that if you're not in that career profession. But, I definitely agree with you there, brother. Things definitely are different than what we've been used to in previous years. And I know I've said this in season 1, definitely, but there's been a major up spike in people that are going out and getting their CCW permits and actual first-time gun buyers. So, just go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
I'll wait because it doesn't pertain to this. It's a gun license that I'm kind of excited about, and I'm going to be getting it. But I would like you to finish, and then we'll talk about that.
Awesome. So, just as much of a need for, not Protec or Votec or Protec, whatever you want to call it. When it comes down to working in the HVAC industry, but there's always going to be a need for, the love of the Pro 2A community as well, for those of us that are Pro 2A and love shooting and, going to the gun range and buying guns and things like that. Yeah, we're going to want to dump our money into, our main love and passion over something that needs to be fixed. I myself personally, I usually deal with what needs to get fixed first, yes. But if it's something that needs to get fixed, but I know the part still has life in it and can go another week or two, if I had the option tomorrow, per se, to go buy a firearm and my car was on a dead battery, obviously I'm going to fix the dead battery. But now if I know I still have about, a few thousand miles left to go on my brake pads compared to buying a gun, yeah, I'm going to go buy the firearm because I know my brakes are going to be able to withstand, going down the road and not having to be maintenance right away. Go ahead, Wes.
I was going to say, when I said that, I was pertaining more towards the maintenance side of things. Like everything's still working, but it could be replaced because it's old, but it's still working just fine. That's more or less what I was talking about.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose buying a gun over something that's still good and is just old. You know what I mean? If it's still working, it's working. And I'm not saying that your air conditioner is working good just because it's running. What I'm saying is that there are certain items that, in my mind, I'm going to wait on because your air conditioner may be running. It doesn't mean that it's running right. And then, obviously, higher power bills and all that fun stuff. So, basically off of what Jax was saying, if I have the means to do the other option, I know I'm probably going to choose the firearm stuff over a lot of things, which kind of make me sound crazy, I guess. But no, so if you don't mind, I have a topic that I would like to move into, and I'm going to give you guys some insight on federal laws and procedures.
Yeah, of course, bro. And then after that, we'll move into the last topic I'm going to bring up before Q&A, and then we'll do our little hoorah after.
Okay, well, put that USA/Pro 2A up because this pertains to that topic.
Okay.
So that FDE and black pistol is a pistol. It is a 11.5-inch barrel. It's got a comp on the end, so obviously it looks longer. But the brace that you're looking at on the back,
hold on,
that is an SBA 3. SBA 3 brace. Okay. With federal stuff going on in the honey badger whole situation and everything that's going on in that aspect of things may become illegal soon. Right? Well, what I have decided that I'm going to do, and this is something all of us could do, okay, depending on how the pistol brace laws go. If they still make pistol braces legal and it's just a different brace, there's only approved braces that we're allowed to use, right? But they want federal tax stamps and stuff like that. This is my plan for that rifle, okay? Without the comp, we're not talking about comp. We're talking literally just the brace and the rifle itself. If I wanted to travel with that pistol, legally I can carry that pistol and go wherever I want to go, basically, except for your blue states that are super anti-gun. But have you ever heard of a Form 1?
Enlighten me.
Okay. A Form 1. So SBR, we're talking SBRs now. Okay.
No.
Because I'm trying to get ahead of this dumbass pistol brace thing. Okay. So what you need to do to be legal without making yourself a felon, obviously, is you build yourself a lower. Okay, just a lower, not the upper, because I can take that upper off and put it on a different frame and be fine. What I'm going to do is what's called a Form 1. So right now, as it stands, that pistol is a pistol. I'm going to build a lower separate with a buttstock on it, an actual buttstock, which then I can take the upper off of and put onto that. And in the eyes of the law, without a federal tax stamp, that is a felony because now it is a SBR, a short-barreled rifle, right?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. So what a Form 1 is exactly that. I've built an SBR. So in turn, what you do, and this is for traveling purposes as well, I can take the serialized part, write up a Form 1, an ATF Form 1, ship it off to them, the form, and start the federal tax stamp process for an SBR. In the meantime, I keep that pistol as it is. It is a pistol. Once I get approved and I get my tax stamp for the SBR, I can then legally take the upper off of that, put it on the SBR lower, and then I'm 100% legal in my state. And then I can go shoot it and not get in trouble because I have federal tax stamp. Now, let's say I'm going to travel. I take the upper off, I put it back on the pistol lower. It is now a pistol, and I leave the SBR serialized federal tax stamped part at home when I travel, which in turn makes you 100% legal in the eyes of the law because a pistol is a pistol, not an SBR, with the proper brace that the ATF approves.
True. And you know, if I may interject, or not even interject, but if I may, give my thoughts on that, it actually makes a whole lot of sense there, with going through that process. We've kind of touched base on the SBR situation before when we had Griff bring up the topic. And for those of you wondering where he's been at lately, personal life with his day job and then competition, he's been involved in that. So he will be on as soon as we get back to regular schedule on Saturdays. Thursdays right now are comp days, so it's a little difficult for him to make it. He doesn't get done till 9:30, 10 o'clock, and he's not home usually until the show's over on Thursdays. So with that being said, it from the original story that we started out with on the SBR to where we're at now on this, it makes a lot of sense filing that and doing it the proper way. So this way, yes, you can still run it as an SBR, but
no, you can run it still as a pistol while waiting for your federal tax stamp to come back.
Right.
Once it's approved, I can slap it onto the lower with the brace and be 100% legal. Then if I go to travel out of my state, I convert it back to the pistol, leave the SBR registered lower at home. It is a pistol again, which they can't say anything to me about an upper. They can say something to me about that lower. If I take the SBR brace off of that lower and I put it onto the pistol lower, now I've committed a felony because that is not the federal tax stamped lower. The serial number has to match your federal tax stamp, which in turn, that is the legal, I don't want to say the word loophole because it's not a loophole, but
it's the right way of doing it.
It is the legal right way to do it. You Form 1 something and you don't have to wait. I can still take that out and go shooting. I don't have to wait 2 years to shoot it. I don't have to wait a year to shoot it. I can still shoot it. Of course, once the ATF releases whatever they're going to approve for pistol braces, fine. I put a pistol brace on there that is approved. It's a pistol. I'm fine. But once I have my federal tax stamp, you better believe that thing is going to be an SBR 100%. And once you unlock that door of federal tax stamping, then you're talking suppressors and everything else. An SBR with a suppressor, that's a bad Mike Foxtrot. Thank you.
Yeah. And I know G-Fly has been listening to this for a little bit now, so I'm going to ask you something here.
Okay.
Now, with what we've been talking about. Obviously, I don't know if you were staying up to date prior to even jumping on your first episode with the show here, but
Right.
what it comes down to when we were talking about the SBR thing with Griff, what was it? They were when they were measuring the firearm, instead of going in a straight line for the overall length to start out with, they were measuring sideways, and then it turned into dealing with the braces. Now, with that being said, you know, the whole factor of this Form 1, getting the lower of your AR serialized with your federal tax stamp to make your SBR legal to go out and shoot. You understand that's just, you know what he's talking about by the lower, right?
By the what?
When he says lower, you know what he's talking about, right?
Explain it to me a little bit.
Okay, so before I share Sin City Tactical's screen here, which is Wes's, obviously, for those of you that are just now catching on to the show. The lower is the actual, I'm not going to say bottom slide, but you're lower with your trigger pack, you know, and your butt stock on it, okay? So that with your buffer tube and everything else like that. So basically when he was showing you before the show, or even, okay, so for lack of a better term there, yes, basically what he's showing you there, the polymer lower of an AR, basically your trigger well, your hand grip, your magazine well, that's your lower. But it has the tubing for, you know, your buffer tube that goes in it and everything else when it's fully put together. Yeah. Your upper is your barrel, your handguard, your gas valve, if you not valve, but tube, if you will.
Look,
depending on
upper receiver, barrel nut, handguard, gas block, gas tube, muzzle device.
Yep.
Door, dust cover door, forward assist. That's your upper.
Okay. Yes, I was just trying to dumb it down. I was going to get to everything else, but
this is a lower receiver. Okay. So what I'm going to do is you'll see there's a serialized piece right here. Of course. This piece is technically considered the firearm. Now for YouTube, as you can tell, it's a stripped lower. There's no springs. There's no trigger. There's nothing. This is literally a stripped lower. There's nothing on it. Okay. This is what I would send a Form 1 ATF form on to be able to get a federal tax stamp to make this a short-barreled rifle. Okay. So this is what I would get the federal tax stamp on. Okay. So that'll be able to be my, well, actually, you'll see the lower that I have there that has trigger and all that stuff on it with the brace. Okay. That is a pistol lower. If I put just a regular, give me a second.
Here, I'm going to solo his screen. So, before I solo his screen,
this,
all right, solo it now,
is a buttstock. Yeah. If I put this on that green one, that is a felony. Okay. Because this has the intention to be shouldered. Right. Yeah. So if I shoulder this without a federal tax stamp on that short-barreled rifle.
It's just a buttstock, though. I thought it was only bump stocks that were felonies now. I thought it was only bump stocks. You know?
No. So here's the law. Okay. Any AR style gun that has a 16-inch barrel or less either has to have a pistol brace, which makes it a pistol, or a federal tax stamp for a short-barreled rifle. 16 inches and longer, and when I say 16 inches, the barrel has to be 16 inches. Yeah. Not 14 and a half with a muzzle brake that makes it 16 inches. That has to be pinned and tacked and welded to make it a 16-inch barrel exactly. But, okay, 16 100% 16 and longer rifle. This can go on it legally and you're fine. Like this rifle, this black one.
Yeah.
That one has a 16-inch barrel with a regular buttstock on it.
Okay.
That one has an 11.5-inch barrel with a pistol brace. That's how I make that gun legal. If I
Okay.
put this,
What happened?
All right, so
We lost him.
well, could be technical difficulties here.
Technical difficulties, yeah.
Bear with us for a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and nope.
Here he's back.
We're unfroze now. Can you hear us, Wes?
Wes?
All right. Technical difficulties. We're gonna go ahead and let him get that figured out and jump
Right.
back on in. But yeah, obviously, he's gonna have a little bit more insight, being that he works in a gun shop, so he's kind of up to date on everything that's coming out in federal law.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. I mean, it's something when it really comes down to it, it's nice to have that knowledge into that and that insight, because not only does that provide a learning experience for not only, let's say I didn't know something and I had a question for Wes, if he had the insight on it, I could get a more pinpointed answer, because obviously with controlled pair munitions being a gun shop that has to follow protocol when it comes to selling guns, just like any other gun shop out there, you got to follow not only federal regulation but state regulation. In some states, I know there's certain states out there that have different laws than others, so it's nice and refreshing to have that insight, if you will. But now moving into some insight that you may not have seen, this is what we were talking about with Griff, and I'm going to go ahead here and share this in the screen and solo it so Wes can bring you up to speed.
okay. So what you see there is a pistol brace, okay, on a pistol AR platform. You see how that tape measure doesn't look straight? You could definitely tell they're measuring at an angle.
Yeah.
So what they're measuring, okay, is the farthest length of pull. And what length of pull means is what I have my brace fully extended to, from the back of that to the trigger, that has to be 13.5 inches or less to be legal as a pistol. Okay, that's very important. You can see they are measuring diagonally, and in the close-up picture of where the tape measure is to the trigger, you can see it's showing 13 9/16 of an inch, which makes that illegal. Okay, now I don't know who measures like that, okay, with the tape measure. What they should have done, which you'll see. Can you see my mouse on the screen?
I can. I think I can. Yeah, I see it.
Okay. It should have been measured from here
Yep.
all the way to here,
Okay.
where the trigger pin is, but straight vertical from it.
Right.
Okay. If I were to take this tape and move it up, you could see that pin would fall to right about here in this area, which is less than 13.5 inches, which would make this legal. Now, because of this measurement that they did diagonally, it makes it illegal because it's past the 13.5 inches, which is what this whole pistol brace and everything else is causing problems with. Okay.
Yep.
So that is the problem. That is what Jax is talking about. That's why I brought up the whole Form 1, because this is causing the problem. Without that, I don't have to worry about everything legally. I can make my short-barreled rifle. I can keep my pistol. All I'm doing is taking the barrel portion of the gun off and putting it on a different bottom with the legal paperwork to do it. That is how you keep yourself from going to jail with a felony and lose all of your guns to begin with. Now, the last thing that I was going to put out there, because that wasn't the main thing I was going to talk about, that was more just information for you guys so you have knowledge on what legally you can and cannot do. Jacks, this is something that's going to interest you and Griff. I don't really know how Justin feels about it, but I'm going to get right into it.
Okay.
It is called a Type 3 FFL. Okay. An FFL is a federal firearms license. You and I and Griff can all possess this federal firearms license for about $30, making us federal firearms licensed people. Okay. What that Type 3 FFL includes is guns that are 50 years old or more. Okay. So what that means, Jax, and this is what I like about it, it is basically a collector's FFL. Okay.
Okay.
You can have guns shipped to your house with this FFL. Okay. It has to be 50 years or older. Well, what falls into 50 years or older?
Obviously,
Pre-1985 banned guns.
I was going to say,
What is
obviously,
what does a pre-1985 banned gun consist of?
No, I mean, obviously, M1 Grands, M14s, your original
your relic guns. Okay.
Yep.
So Mosin Nagants, your SKSs, your FALs, because they're pre-1985, full auto is legal.
Full auto guns.
Shipped to your house as long as it is considered a relic. A Type 3 FFL costs you or I $30 and about 2 months worth of paperwork approval rates.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Now, to change the subject here for a minute, just obviously time constraints here. I do want to move forward. The information that we put out so far in the show has been great.
Yeah.
I love having you both on here with me. I wish Griff could be here, which I'm sure you both do as well. Kind of miss having him on the show the last few weeks, but, I understand things happen. Life happens. It is what it is. We're going through a global pandemic right now, so we kind of just got to roll with the punches. But nonetheless, he's still a part of the team. But there's somebody else who's not a part of our team, but is very close to me. That buddy of mine that I told you about, Wes, that ran off the road back in October, called me 2 nights ago. He's back in the hospital due to the same injury that happened a few months back. Now, I usually don't do this on any episodes, but I want you guys, if you're listening, viewing, watching, whatever it is, let's take a moment of silence and keep him in our thoughts. Hopefully, next couple of days goes by, everything's all good. He's out of the hospital, back up on his 2 feet. This is someone to me that outside of our podcasting crew and our brand family here and our viewers and listeners, obviously, that this all is a huge Pro 2A family, but this is somebody else that, it means something to me outside of family. So I'd consider him a brother. Let's hope for a full recovery. Keep him in your thoughts and prayers. But no, with that being said, let's take a moment of silence and we'll move on to the next topic here quick.
He is, but that should piss me off about that 130 thing. I've never been 130.
All right. Now, moving on to the next topic here. Obviously, that's something I busted Wes's balls about before the show. The good old Fantasy Hockey League. Now, for viewers and listeners out there, I have started a Fantasy Hockey League. I have, I believe, 10 spots left to fill before next Friday. which is when my scheduled draft is for the league. I'm trying to fill up these spots. If I have to expand the league, oh, did you get in?
It's free though. It's free.
I can't tell. Your screen's a little blurry. I'll have to look at the app here.
Oh God.
I'm part of the team already.
Yep, well, I know you are.
So if I recommend a friend, he can come on the league with me too.
Yep, and it looks like Wes is hitting that join the league button.
Look at that, he's about to join right now.
So,
All right. ESPN
we got-
Fantasy.
yep. So we got a draft right now scheduled for obviously next Friday, which is 8 days from now. But with that being said, for our viewers and listeners out there that want to reach out and, not even necessarily hang out because it's not hanging out with the COVID situation, but, enjoy a little friendly competition over a fantasy sports game, feel free to email myself at deadmanincairsoft@outlook.com or reach out to me on the Facebook page, comment on the videos, your personal email address, or however you want me to contact you, or send you an invite to the Fantasy Hockey League if that's what you're into. And let's get these spots filled, man. I mean, 8 days till the draft. The league starts January 1st of 2021. And, the cool part is one of the guys that comes to my day job just texted me because I sent him the link. He doesn't really know how any of it works, but he'd be down to go to a wild game with me, and that's something, I kind of want to do if COVID restrictions lift come January and we get the vaccines out and going. I'd love to go to a wild game, but even more so, I'd love to play the Fantasy Hockey League this year and get things going with us. It looks like he has the app ready to download, which is awesome. And I'm saying this not only because I'm trying to fill my league spots, but it gives our listeners and viewers an opportunity to get to know us. Obviously, my older brother, my old lady's brother-in-law, her cousin is going to be joining the league and things of that nature. But like I said, if I have to expand the league, I can expand it up to 20 people. So there's going to be a select few of you that are going to be able to make it. So I think I can get up to like 20 or 22 teams in my league between two divisions. So if you're interested in something like that, please reach out. I'd be more than happy to have you in the league. And let's have fun with it. With everything going on in the world and the way the media portrays everything, it's getting hot. It's getting heavy. I feel like we need something that's a little bit more laid back, relaxed, but yet still competitive. And it'll also give our fans and viewers a chance to get to know us throughout the hockey season, communicate with us, and be able to play against us, if you will, in a hockey game to... Oh, there we go. Looks like he's in it. Yep.
He's in.
That'd be me right there at the top.
He's in.
Only just because we ain't started, you ain't gonna be sitting at the top for long, fool.
Hey, that's just a division. Now, here's the whole thing, though, bro.
I'm better than you. I know.
Well, you've taught me everything.
We might have the skill.
You've taught me everything I know about the.
No, I'm talking about picking hockey players only. That's what I'm talking
picking
about.
hockey players, dude. I live in the state of hockey. Okay,
We do.
Look,
right
bud.
there, bud.
Look here, bud. You don't know. This desert rat gonna show you how to pick some hockey players.
You may be a desert rat, but guess what? I'm gonna pull a whole Rec Nation up in here. You know what us river rats do?
I'm gonna pick him up mine and then we'll win.
Yeah,
Wayne Gretzky was the man.
eat cheese and poop.
Old school. No, old
Us
school.
river rats play pond hockey there, eh, bud?
We need your help.
When the last time the Minnesota Wild won a championship there, bud?
Search as river rat, and you'll find out exactly what it is.
What? When's the last time the Minnesota Wild won a championship there, bud?
Okay, when's the last time the Knights won one?
Buddy, been to the Stanley Cup more than the Wild. Thank you.
How about we talk about Minnesota Gophers hockey?
The league, though, bro.
They've taken like 5
No
championships.
college and no Vikings fans are allowed to talk at this point.
Yes, I was gonna say, hold on, G Fly. I'm gonna mute you for a second because this is gonna get a heated battle. Now, bro,
Go there, bud.
no. See, you don't get it. The Knights have only been in the league for like the last 3 to 4 years. Okay,
Hey, Justin, you might want to call the fire department.
so we can agree on the Packers, and I love you, bro. I really do. But the Wild have been around a lot longer. So before you pipe up about the Knights, get a few years under your belt here before you start talking.
Look here, bud. Justin, you need to call the fire department. Somebody threw a flaming bag of shit on your wall in your house, and it's purple and yellow.
Yeah, there's that.
You know,
No, but that might be the Vikings, though. We might,
Yeah, but see, we're Packers fans over here. Where's your green card?
bud.
And
Didn't
when
we
I
beat Green Bay this
not
year? Is
referring
that
to-
not enough?
just
Do we have to beat you twice this year and knock you out of the division?
No, you only beat us once.
Look here, bud. Look here, bud. Okay. Look here, bud. Look here, bud. Go to the playoffs. Then you can talk. Thank you.
You know why all the boys from the Green Bay come to
You win the Super Bowl there, bud.
Brett Favre, Cobb, everybody else, the wide receivers, they came out to us because we were
Correction. Randall Cobb did not go to the Vikings, sir.
Who was it? Rice then?
That was Greg Jennings. Just
Jennings.
letting you know.
There you go.
Mr. Vikings fan don't know his
Everybody
team.
wanted to win. That's why they came to the Vikings.
Greg Jennings,
Greg
Mr.
Jennings
Vikings
was a
fan,
beast.
don't know his team.
The reason Jennings went to Minnesota was because Favre was there and he thought he was going to play with Favre. But
We
Favre,
would have taken this Super Bowl
Correction.
that year
Jennings went before
if the
Favre went there.
Saints play so dirty. The Saints targeted. They put a bounty on Brett Favre when he was our quarterback. We would have taken the Super Bowl that year.
Negative.
should have
No doubt.
You had Dante Culpepper,
Away from the Super
Chris
Bowl.
Carter, and Randy Moss. Same team. Still failed.
Moss is a boss. He's the best. He's the best. in the league.
Anywho,
And he
we're
started-
not going to get into this because we already know the Packers are better. Let's look at the rings. Let's look at the score sheet. Let's look at everything else under the belt.
Look at the Lombardi Trophy there, bud. It's
Yeah.
named after the Packers head coach there,
Head
bud.
coach.
Yeah, I suppose.
Don't get me
But now, with
started.
that being
Don't
said,
get
anywho, in the love of everything going on, this is how I guess, doesn't look like we have any viewers right now, but this is, I'm going to throw up the Q&A segment flag here, but this is just going to be a small, short, 5-minute ordeal.
All right.
Just in case somebody does pop in and wants to communicate with us.
Right.
This is the overall game plan. You've been around now. This is your 3rd or 4th episode with us.
Yeah.
I love having you around. I want you to learn as much as you possibly can, with what we've got going on. You're
Right.
the team, and I'm glad to say that you've made it onto the crew. But I do want you to learn and understand this. When it comes down to
Oh no!
things,
Get the cheesehead out of here!
no, we're
Get the
going to
cheesehead
keep the
out of here!
cheese.
Look here, bud. Look here, bud. Look here, bud. Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go at Airdown channel.
Don't you know?
Yeah. There was a man parked in a handicapped parking lot. The cop came up and he said, "Hey, it's illegal to park in a handicapped parking lot." And the guy says, "Go Pack, go!" And the cop goes, "All right, you're fine. Never mind."
Hey, it's okay. You know why they call you guys the Bike Queens, right?
Bike Queens. I've never heard of it.
The Bike Queens, not the Bike Queens.
Okay.
The BI Queens.
Why is
Because
that?
every time you get to a major bowl, you choke.
Oh. Well, we're gonna win it in the next couple of years. Maybe not this year. This year we're getting the wild card at least.
Yeah,
We'll see
I'll
how
give
they're
you
gonna
that.
play,
At the end of the day, what I'm trying to get at here,
these rookies, and then once these rookies get the hang of it, it's a done deal.
what I'm trying to get at here is go Pack, go. I think there's one thing we can agree upon when it comes to Minnesota, and this isn't a sports team thing, has nothing to do with sports.
Jefferson's got
The only
1,000 yards
Minnesota
on his
thing
rookie
outside
year.
of maybe the Wild that Wes will somewhat agree with, even though he's a Knights fan,
Yeah.
is the Minnesota
Oh
Overlanders.
no!
Yes, baby, yes. But now, with that being said, boys, it's
Oh no!
actually,
out in Las Vegas, he's a Packers fan.
hey, well, you know what? His family lives in Wisconsin, so I get it. But
Yeah.
now, here's one thing I'm going to say: a little bit of a wind back history. Remember, I was telling you on the phone how me and Wes first met, right? We're 8 short days away from the 4-month mark of the brands intertwining into one.
Okay.
And, it's been a long journey so far. It's only going to keep growing. Yes, baby.
Go Pack, go there, bud.
Go ring, go Pack, go. Now we're just doing a show-off show because obviously we're a better team.
Do we have to beat you again this year? Is that what has to happen for the Packer pride to die down?
Go Pack, go there, bud.
Go Pack, go there. But with that being said,
I don't know about that.
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
It's your 3rd episode or 4th. How do you feel about being a part of the team?
I love it, bro. I'm coming around every week. I just got to add. So the way it lines up, the 24th, Christmas, we got a meeting where you got a show on Thursday. Is that right? Are we going to do a show on Christmas Day?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I figure. I have, and this is kind of a spoiler for our viewers and listeners out there, but it's going to be an earlier show on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
Because New Year's and Christmas Eve fall on a Thursday.
Right.
This year. And the only reason I know that is because I have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off 1 week from work. And then the same next week, I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
So I have 2 back-to-back 4-day weekends with a 3-day work week in the middle. So I know both of those specific days fall on a Thursday. We will be doing a holiday special time at noon, which is obviously the time we've been firing up Sin City Tactical's show on Saturdays in recent weeks. So definitely on Christmas Eve and on New Year's Eve, come check us out here on the Overlanders channel for your Thursday night Overlanders holiday special, and let's get the ball rolling. For these holiday specials.
Go Pack, go there, bud.
No.
Like this one better? Justin?
Don't you know that the Vikings are the best?
Don't you like this one better?
Vikings aren't the best, dude. They've been to the Super Bowl how many times and haven't won a single time?
Hold on. You like this hat better?
I read Green Bay
that's-
Packers. Blue and
That's
gold. I
nice.
know.
Speaking of that, I do have a question for you after we end the show.
What about this
But
one? There, bud?
Oh,
oh
God.
boy, now we're getting into a show off session there. Eh?
I'm gonna go get my.
What about this there, bud?
No, don't do that. 'Cause
Standard.
then
What about this
I'm
one
like
there,
on the
bud?
other side of the house for my Packers gear. Oh my
What about
lord!
this one there, bud?
Oh, Wes, you see what you made? You see what you made this Bike Queens
Hold on,
fan
hold
do?
on.
Vikings blanket.
What about this one there, bud?
You see what you made that Bike Queens fan do?
Oh wait.
Vikings
What about this
all the
one there,
way.
bud? What about this one there, bud?
Oh lord, there, bud.
Okay. Hold on. What about this one there, bud? Oh no, you don't like that one either? Okay. What about this one there,
You
bud?
got like 80 different Green Bay Packer hats. We go.
He's got
What about this one there, bud?
He had the gray one though. The gray one's the best one.
I guess.
No, I can keep going.
They can keep going.
Yeah, we ain't gonna keep going because I'm gonna tell you what. We've already been on here for about an hour and a half.
All right.
This is where we're gonna wrap up the show.
Skull Vikings. Skull.
Oh, but this is where we're gonna wrap up the show. We love you guys. We'll see you on Saturday over on Sin City Tactical's channel. At least myself, anyway. I know Wes will be there, so come check us out there. Next Thursday, we'll be starting at 7 for sure, so stay tuned for that. And then for those of you that reach out for the league, next Friday we are drafting at 4:45 p.m. Central Time. which is
What about this one there, bud?
2:45
On that bitch,
or
hold up with it.
Pacific time.
Legal.
All right.
All right, guys. We will
Skull
see you
Vikings.
later.
Skull Vikings.
Go Pack Go.
Look at all that he's got.
Super Bowl Packers, baby. Go Pack Go. We'll catch y'all later. Stay safe out there.